He's Jamie Hunt.
He's Pat Heath, and we're in the showroom in Berlin, ESP European Showroom, and today we're here to give you a lesson that's going to dig into all things black metal. First of all, I decided to do it black metal, keep it in standard tuning. There's bands that do it in standard tuning. Obviously, there's a fair amount of black metal in down tunings as well. But I really wanted to feature lots of tremolo picking, so I felt the tension of those strings at standard tuning would work in our favour. So the opening phrase is all diads, okay, that create melodies. So and you hear this a lot. Bands like Immortal do this kind of stuff where they tremolo picked two-note phrases to thicken things up. And I created this little melody that just went. Down to the. But when you apply tremolo picking to that, you start to get that kind of ferocious, consistent, you know, get that aggression. Yeah, it's just kind of relentless.
Spooky.
So we've got that phrase, and that continues around. There's like a cut B to it. Then the end phrase in reverse. So all of that's tremolo picked. So
you're playing diads, which is two-note chords.
Yep.
And show me what you're playing.
So I'm playing
So what I'm playing.
So together, we end up getting that E minor triad.
But orchestrated and sat together in a two-guitar part, panned left and right, as almost all of these kind of bands are.
That separation.
Yeah, and it gives you this big, fat, orchestrated sound. And that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Should we play it together?
Yeah. So,
Yeah?
2, 3, 4. Cool.
Yeah.
So obviously you have your double kick, you're playing 16th throughout, all of that, to reinforce that, and that helps to add to that kind of percussive, abrasive delivery of what's happening.
Yeah, it's just, what was the word you used when you were describing this? It's relentless, isn't it? Really, it's kind of, it's barbaric in its force, and it's all from attack and kick drums and blast beats and that kind of thing. So full on aggression.
Yeah.
And
something to think about though is the fact that because it's that relentless playing, it's kind of easy to do things that cause fatigue, or for that to lose the consistency in how you're playing.
Totally.
So there's a couple of approaches, and we've taken slightly different approaches in our picking, but to get to a similar result. So one thing I'm conscious of, because I'm playing thicker strings, I've had to use a slightly bigger wrist motion to get the 2 notes. So I'm playing a little bit more from the arm.
Yeah.
My thinking from that is that I need to get an equal attack on both of the strings that I'm playing. Because sometimes if you don't, you can hear little bits of that upper note, but it's kind of masked by that thicker lower note that the pick is getting to first. So for my approach on that, I'm playing fairly close to the tip of the pick, because I don't want too much kind of too much to catch on the string and cause me to slow down, trip on things. So the less pick there is, you can glide a little bit more, and that goes in your favour. But it means
you can roll over the strings, can't you?
But I'm getting that motion, so you hear both notes equally.
Yeah, see, I can't do it that way. I tried, and you've got the knack for it. I approach it a slightly different way. Sure. It's more kind of, I suppose, the way Eddie Van Halen
that
used
kind of
to
rotation of the
take
wrist,
a rotation of the wrist. Yeah. That's the way I like to approach it, really, and it's kind of, it's horses for courses, really. You know, there's no absolutely correct way of doing things.
It's what's right for you to do with the pick that you use, the thickness of that, the gauge of string that you're using, the action of your strings, so how much height there is, and what you've got to work with, because that will change tension.
And having good posture as well, because, I mean, this is tendonitis on its way to you, isn't it, really, if you're doing this kind of music.
What you don't want to do is tense up.
Yeah,
that's the kind of recipe for things to start to go wrong. So it's finding a point that works for you with the least amount of work.
Yeah. And you should be relaxed.
Yeah.
You know, as relaxed as you can be, really.
Especially if you're going to do a whole set of this stuff. You're like 90 minutes doing this.
Exactly.
You need to have that kind of system that allows you to play and maintain that attack. I wanted to keep that tremolo picked approach going, but really work on the idea, because you hear this a lot in black metal stuff, of minor chords moving around. Just minor chords, just that kind of flavour of it moving to different kind of tonal centres. So I shifted to A minor as the next chord, with that kind of big ringing sound. And as that's ringing, you'll get kind of a blast beat drum under it. That kind of keeps that consistency going. But to kind of join in with that, I'm hitting that A minor chord, then come back to the root, and get a little tremolo pick. Then I move to C minor, back to A minor. And then I created this little melody line to contrast things again, like a diminished. It's an atmosphere and mood, which you harmonise, don't you?
Over your E shape A minor, right?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
I'm playing a D shape minor. It's not a D minor, it's a D shape.
Still an A minor chord.
It's still an A minor chord, but it's up here, so we get the full range of sound. So do you want to 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah,
big
wash of chord, isn't it?
Wash, that's good, And while you're picking your low note, I'm playing
C
which
note.
is a C note, and that's the minor third above where you
so
are.
Against my A, you get that harmony. So let's try the parts together.
1,
2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
cool.
That's
and then
cool.
Harmonically, I moved to the C minor here. So where did you go?
Well, I went down to this this top triad here. This it's an A shape C minor triad, but it's the top of the triad, and I think that's really important, because I mean there's lots of this. You you can get that going on in this kind of music. But sometimes it's nice to put those, and they're kind of spooky sort of sounding.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, you could write for a Tim Burton movie with
exactly
with this kind of
it's
sound.
It's that atmosphere again, isn't it?
It's the atmosphere. That's right. So I'm playing, and then I'm basically moving back to the A minor.
Yeah. So what was your diminished phrase?
Okay, I've got a little phrase that I put in after the chord, and it kind of goes. It's basically made up of these notes.
And that's whilst I'm playing the same thing 3 frets lower.
Right, so literally it's a diminished inversion of a diminished
chord harmonised with a diminished. Yeah, and it just creates a little
sinister
little theme amongst all those chords.
Yeah.
So that goes round with the A, C, A minor, theme. It almost repeats exact after that. A again, C again. Then we go up another minor third. This time's at E flat minor. So it's that moving minor chord thing again, right?
That's right.
And here I take that little arpeggio again, but up here on the 13th and 14th fret. Just so you hear that idea, but it's moved.
Tense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
You go to power chords, like to a little sort of lead melody over the top.
A little melody.
So tell us about the chordal bit underneath.
Yeah, so it's moving power chords around with tremolo picked kind of vibe still to it, but it's making a melody out of a chord movement. So that kind of idea, basically. So
if you down tune that, it's like a behemoth.
But there's a tune in there, and it's fun, and I'm actually really, it's quite gratifying to be able to get those flicks of the wrists in time, especially if you're going with there's kind of drummers that that do those
Nick Barker's
Nick Barker's of the world. They do those fast blast beats. So
so you mentioned melody within that, and I wanted to put like some lead themes in there. And quite often in black metal, you'll get melodies played by lead guitars.
Yeah.
And you get the fireworks and the phrases as well. But a standout thing is just kind of really catchy melodies jumping through. So because that had that melodic shape to it, I kind of decided to reinforce it. So. It kind of repeats around like that.
Yeah, nothing's pretty, is it? It's all very, very tense.
Gnarly.
It's kind of music that fits that candelabra.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Sure.
It's got to be like that, but that really works. Should we play the riff and the melody together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Simple, simple. And then you did it an octave down as well, didn't you?
Yeah, to thicken that up again.
Yeah.
Just to give it, again, it's the theatrical kind of...
It's theatrical. That's a brilliant way to describe it, yeah.
Sure. There's another section where we changed gear a bit as well, because like we said, we've got lots of tremolo picking. We had the big watch chords with some tremolo picking in it, and the fast moving power chord thing we were just talking about. So to give it a gear change, again, you hear this a lot in black metal stuff, we decided to go with 8th triplets. So you get more of a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then doubled up notes, those little rhythms.
Yeah.
So we wanted those rhythms. So I went to E power chord again. So that kind of thing where I'm playing those triplets and some doubled in the middle. And then a thing, I wanted to create a melody within that. So I'm thinking of this E5 power chord, and that being the root, that being the fifth. Now a really good way of creating tension within themes, guitar themes in black metal is to play around with that fifth. So you keep the root there, you've got your flat fifth, and your sharp fifth. So all of that is right under the hand, is just atmosphere, just waiting to be used. So I kept using the 8th triplets in that kind of approach. And then a B flat to an F. Over to the note over there, the third away from that fifth, so we get that major third sound again. bounces around, but in the track you really feel that sense of shift.
Yes.
It almost feels, because you've been doing so many 16th note tremolo pick sequences, it's very easy to play too fast.
Yeah.
When you get to that 8th triplet feel, because you kind of want to race ahead. And because the drums really go with it, it's important to kind of listen into those changes. So if you use this stuff in your own music, a good tip is if you're playing fast 16th note sequences, try and hear those 8th triplets. So instead of hearing that rhythm, you want to start hearing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. The tempo's the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's the 16th triplets. And if you can hear those rhythms and set yourself up for those gear shifts, you'll land really accurately into the new section. You can really exploit those moving fifths in your chords and melodies around that. So whilst playing that, you were playing a harmony. You're doubling up the chords.
Yeah, it's basically a fourth above.
Yeah, just a string over, right? Yeah, so you kind of hear that harmony coming in there. Again, it's not a pleasant harmony, the sort of thing that you would hear maybe a choir singing, but it's that, in this sense, it's that angst
and dissonance, and kind of just striking fear into people. That's the idea of it, isn't it? Really, just to give
unrelenting attack, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's lots of fun. I mean, we kind of put this together in a relatively short space of time.
Yeah. Pulled out some key ingredients from different black metal bands we were listening to.
Reference things. It's very easy to pick up on things and copy something, but actually what you want to be doing is looking at the next subgenre.
Yeah.
And doing the thing that you like and putting those things together and creating your own genre. That's when you get.
So this all came about from when we listened to those black metal bands of, like, what's the concept here? It's the moving fifths to create melodies against a chord, or it's the diad tremolo picked stuff, or the fast moving power chords. There's always a thing that we said, okay, we can take that tool and use it, and that's how we created this. So use the same tools, explore things. And if you sound black metal, brilliant. If you sound slightly outside of that, but you've kind of synthesised those rules into different contexts, that's great as well. So explore and see what comes up.